Welcome back to my channel. We are now in the middle of the NFL offseason, and I thought that was just a perfect time for an NFL video series like this one. And of course, that is the best NFL player at each jersey number. And in today's video, I'll be going over the very highly coveted number 0. So this will be the top 5 number 0s in NFL history. And this is a very definitive ranking, no room for argument. So in case you didn't know, the number 0, while it is very cool, is actually a very new number for the NFL. The first year it was actually allowed was 2023, so there's only 2 years, but that does not mean these aren't good players. Since it's a cool number, very highly coveted, everybody wants to be it, especially the young guys. Another note is you can't be an offensive or defensive lineman with this number. However, this does exclude outside linebackers / edge rushers. For some reason, I don't know, the NFL just decided to let that. So you will notice some defensive linemen who do have it. Before I get into it, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. I would argue I'm a top 5,000 or 6,000 NFL YouTuber, and if you stick around, you'll see some okay videos. But back to the video. At number 5 is one of the best names in the NFL and a very exciting young player. That is Yaya Diaby. He's out of the University of Louisville. He's going into his 3rd year in the NFL. His first 2 years were really good. He only started playing about halfway through his rookie season, but he was on fire. He had 7.5 sacks, and he ended up 5th in the Defensive Rookie of the Year rankings. This year he had a slight step back. He played more, but he was a little bit less productive. I think this is probably because the teams knew they had to focus on him a little bit more, but he is still a bright young star who in 2 or 3 years will be a top-end edge rusher. At number 4 is Byron Young. So before you get confused, there are multiple Byron Youngs in the NFL. Some are good, some are not good. So this one, Byron Young of the Los Angeles Rams, also an edge rusher, he is good. So in his rookie year, he's very good. He played most of the season. He was 8th in Defensive Rookie of the Year standings. I honestly not that impressed with being 8th because that probably means he got like 2 or 3 votes. So I had to mention it because it's one of his stats, but not that impressed. He did have 8 sacks. This year he had 7.5 sacks and a safety. He was very good throughout the year, especially as the year went on. He is another extremely promising edge rusher in the NFL. You'll hear both of these guys for years to come. At number 3 is Christian Gonzalez. He is the corner for the Patriots. He was drafted super high up. He is super young and is extremely talented. Patriots fans love this guy. He was a second-team All-Pro this year in his 2nd year in the NFL. He played 4 games last season and then he got hurt. He did come back very strong. Of course, that's why he was number 5 on the Comeback Player of the Year rankings. He is arguably a top 10 corner in the NFL and is just 22 years old. He's born in 2002. So he has an extremely bright future ahead of him, just like every guy on this list, because there are only young guys on this list since it is a brand new number in NFL history. And then these top 2, I'm going to say, are up for debate a little bit. I could see reason either way, but I think most people will agree with me because these are very definitive rankings, very hard to argue with my completely sound logic. So Brian Burns, he's number 2. He's not as young as the other guys. He has played several years, and of course that means he played several years at a different number. Whether we count that or not, kind of iffy, but he is a very good edge rusher. He is the Giants' prized possession on the team. He is a 2-time Pro Bowler. All the analytics guys think that he's the next big thing. He has 54.5 career sacks. Every year he's played in the NFL, he's been productive and has wrecked offensive lines. Very, very promising player. He's only 26 years old, and he's one of those guys that if you're a really big NFL fan watching NFL videos in February or March, you might know him. If you're not a big NFL fan, and not a Giants fan, and not a Panthers fan, you probably never heard of him. But just to talk about how good and how promising he was, the Carolina Panthers were offered a first and second round pick for him. They denied it, and that was quite the mistake because they only got about a second round pick the next year. But at the time, he's extremely promising. Then he was going into like the last year of his contract, not as valuable on the trading market. But he is an excellent defensive player. And then the number one player in NFL history that wore number 0 is Roquan Smith. He is a amazing linebacker. He's arguably the best linebacker in the NFL. He is a 3-time first team All-Pro, a 2-time second team All-Pro, a 3-time Pro Bowler. He has, I mean, his stats, he has over 1,000 tackles. So that's pretty good. I guess that is combining solo and assist, but he was part of 1,000 tackles, and he's been in the NFL for 7 years. He is all over the field. He makes big plays. He's just seen by many as the best linebacker in the NFL, and that is why he is the best number 0 of all time. If you think I left anyone off the list, if you think I got my order wrong, if you think I'm super cool, any of those things, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Comment about your favorite player at number 1, and then maybe I'll make a video about that as well. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.